It happened. Skubal is officially a Dodger, and his first start is already in the books. But even after adding a fresh ace, the Dodgers are still stuck in a six-game losing streak. We'll break down Skubal's debut, what Dave Roberts can do to get this team back on track, the latest injury updates, and whether Mookie Betts might finally be turning a corner. We'll also talk Ohtani versus PCA in the NL MVP race and preview game one of the Dodgers versus Diamondbacks series. All that and more on today's episode. This is Blue Dynasty Unplugged.
It's time for Dodger Baseball!
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series! Beat the champ! You gotta knock him out! The Dodgers cement their dynasty!
And welcome back to a brand new episode of Blue Dynasty Unplugged, the number one place for Dodger fans to get the latest news on your Los Angeles Dodgers. I am your host, Robert Medina, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, George Contillanes, Priscilla Perez, and Sam Baez. Unfortunately, Robert Hainline, Bobby, won't be joining us today. He's stuck at work, but the show must go on, right, guys?
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good.
I mean, not a great week, but it is what it is. So we move on.
Yep. Yeah. Today might be a therapy session for all of us. I know that there's been a lot going on that isn't, I guess not ideal for the team, but we'll get into all of that. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate your time. I know, Sam, you dealt with some LA traffic today. Not surprising, but we're happy you're here.
Yeah. I wouldn't say LA traffic. It's suburban traffic. So not as bad, but still takes me forever to get home. So thank you guys for waiting for me. I'm sorry I was so late, but I appreciate it.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, there's we're gonna get into a lot of stuff today, including obviously Skubal. I can't say it any differently, but Sam called it right. She manifested Skubal to the Dodgers, so we'll get into that. We'll get into the slump that we're currently in. But before we get into all of these topics, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Malachite Media.
Modern marketing isn't built on guesswork anymore. It's built on data. Malachite Media uses intent data to reach people based on what they're searching, what they're shopping for, and even what they're watching. Helping businesses reach the right audience across Google, social media, streaming TV, and more. Start your digital growth with Malachite Media today.
All right, so I guess it's pretty obvious, right? The Dodgers made probably the biggest move out of all the teams at the trade deadline by acquiring Tarik Skubal from the Tigers in exchange for Zahir Hope, River Ryan. Look at that. Okay, hold on. Let's pause real quick. Tell us a little bit about your shirt, Priscilla.
It says, "We ruined baseball, Blue Dynasty." And that's all I've been hearing. So we might as well embrace it. We ruined baseball. Let them cry.
Yep, that's right. But yeah, no, we acquired Tarik Skubal for Zahir Hope, River Ryan, Brady Smith. I'm going to tell you guys right now, when I saw River Ryan's name in that trade, I was a little bummed out. I've been a big River Ryan guy for a while now, and I really wanted to see what he had. But when you take a step back and you look at what we got in return, obviously you can't go wrong with Skubal on the Dodgers, right? But going around the room, George, what was your reaction to the trade? And how do you feel about Skubal being on the Dodgers?
Oh, it's just great. I just love seeing everyone whinge and just whine about it, and I just love it. Yeah, very happy. I think, look, yeah, I feel a bit the same about River Ryan. I was excited to see him make his way back, but it's business at the end of the day. People need to move on, and if you look at what we got, I think we fleeced it. If I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't be happy if I was a Tigers fan, that's for sure. But hey, we got to do anything we can to help us out. We don't know how it's going to look next year and moving forward, so we got to go all in. Like I said, get this once in a generation three-peat and go from there.
Yeah. And, there's been, I guess, rumors swirling around what happened during that trade. There's been some saying that, the Tigers agreed to the offer that the Dodgers, put on the table because there's a lockout looming. And some speculate that this helps the case, for the owners, right, to put that salary cap. So I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot that people have been speculating, including that, no other teams really had the opportunity to, I guess, present their offers or even outbid the Dodgers. It was kind of like, hey, we're going to reach out to the Dodgers, and whatever they end up giving us, we're just going to take, because they made that decision way before the deadline, right? They didn't wait it out. But Sam, what is your take on that, right? Because we can speculate and I guess talk about all these rumors on why it happened or, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, we know that Skubal had a preference. Now, whether the Tigers listen to that preference, who knows, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm sorry, I just took a few notes looking at it, but regardless, I think the lockout was going to happen regardless of if the Dodgers got Tarik Skubal or if they didn't, right? I think that's obviously every baseball analyst right now is obviously saying that they see a lockout looming. They don't see any contract negotiations being agreed upon by December 1st, which is obviously when the current CBA ends. So regardless of if the Dodgers got Tarik Skubal or not, the lockout's going to happen. The owners are going to cry wolf and say, oh, the billionaires, we don't have money to spend on our teams and invest in our teams the way the Dodgers do. That's one. But two, the whole notion that the Tigers just wanted to help the Dodgers out and just handed Tarik Skubal over like that. I mean, what incentive would the Tigers have to make something like that happen, right? I mean, they didn't even get our number one prospect, Jose DePaula from AAA. They didn't get Sheehan, and they also didn't get Lauer, which I thought all three of those guys were going to be gone in this trade, right? It was a fleece, like George said. So I'm not sure, and nobody really knows the other packages that were presented to the Tigers before the trade deadline. But I just don't see any incentive for the Tigers to just say, hey, Dodgers, we know you're the biggest team in baseball. Here's the 2-time Cy Young Award winning pitcher. Just here you go. Just take him. We'll take a few of your guys and we'll be happy. I think they would have had more of an incentive to give him away to the Brewers, the Phillies, or even an AL East rival, because that window is wide open right now. So I really don't agree with, the whole we got Tarik Skubal for free deal. There was no incentive for the Tigers to get who they did unless they really wanted it,
Yeah, definitely no favoritism. I agree with you. I don't think that there's anything like that going on. But one thing that is, I just don't understand, why didn't they wait until the deadline, right? Until the very last minute to take whatever deal they were going to end up taking. Why take it so early? That's one thing that, myself and a lot of others in the industry still don't, really understand, and we may never know, right?
I think it's the risk factor. I really think it is. I think the Dodgers were willing to risk more and give up way more than any other team, and they felt that, and they just pulled the trigger. I mean, like we know, the Dodgers spend the most money in baseball. They're going to continue spending the most money in baseball until somebody does something about it. So I really just believe that they gave them the best package. They gave them stability. They gave them a lot of, I think it was $9 million on top of the 3 prospects. So I truly believe that the Dodgers were just willing to give up way more than any other baseball team was.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing to this is that I actually saw, I can't remember who it was. I wish I remembered so I can, give him some credit. But I saw a video today on someone breaking down what the revenue that what type of revenue baseball teams get, right, from actual baseball and the stadium and all the concessions and all that stuff, how much they make and how much they spend, and then also looking outside of that, what some of these teams make with other things they have going on around the stadium, right? Some have like these, what do they call it? I don't know. It's like this entertainment stuff that they set up where, they have restaurants and, they have concert halls all around the stadium. And it shows that most of their revenue and most of their profits come from those areas. So teams like the Dodgers don't have that. And it made the argument where it kind of balances out, what everybody kind of says right now, right? And it's that the Dodgers have an advantage, right, over other teams. And so it really did bring a few things into perspective. Does it balance it out completely? Probably not, right? But there is an argument to be made there. Priscilla, how do you feel about the Skubal trade? And is the lockout just inevitable? Is it just something that we're going to have to deal with come December?
I was dying when I saw the news in our chat that Skubal had been traded. That meme/video that you made was completely accurate. We were losing our minds. And I know everybody that was around me was like, can you just take your excitement over there because we're on the losing factor of all this. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's all tactical. If there's no incentive for the Tigers, let's think about the fact, what does it do for the rest of baseball when the Tigers say, okay, here, take Tarik Skubal for the Dodgers. We all know this is going to happen. We all know the Dodgers spend the most money, et cetera, et cetera. It's just giving them another headline for this lockout. So there is an incentive, not so much here, take this is yours in trade, but because the managers and the teams are going to be crying about it, it just gives it that much more of a reason. Like, oh, look, it was inevitable. We couldn't do anything about it. You could. You didn't want to. Nor did the Brewers, nor did anybody else, because Tarik Skubal came out and said himself, everybody had the same opportunity to get me if they wanted to, and they just chose not to. So I don't think that's so much like a win-win. I think it's more like, here's Tarik, we get our headline, we get another reason to cry about this, and now we need a lockout, which, cry me a river, honestly. I think at this point, yeah, it is somewhat inevitable, but because they made it that way. We're not going to take fault for what all managers, owners, and corporations or companies are doing when it comes to their baseball teams. We just know that the Dodgers are doing it better, and now they want to cry about it. So
yeah,
that's from baseball.
Yeah, and there's a lot of examples that we can make that are very similar to what we saw right now with Skubal. And, Mookie Betts, the Red Sox didn't believe in him enough and traded him away, right? Freddie Freeman got replaced by Matt Olson, right? Edwin Diaz, anybody could have outbid the Dodgers for Edwin Diaz. Same with Kyle Tucker, right? At the end of the day, there's a level playing field in the sense that there's teams out there that do have the money to be able to make big moves, like signing a Shohei Ohtani. Why didn't the Yankees outbid the Dodgers for Shohei Ohtani? They had the opportunity and the money. Why not do it? So I I don't want to say I'm tired of all these, all these people saying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball and that they have an advantage. And let's keep hearing it. At this point, let's just embrace the bad guy role, because we all know the truth, and we know that your owners just don't have, I guess, the guts to go out and make the moves that this team has been making. And I can't say anything more than good things about the front office that the Dodgers has. It's just, I mean, what do you do? I can't tell. We can't have the other teams' ownerships make these moves, right? Final thoughts on Skubal, and what do you guys expect to see out of him? And because he already made his first start, which in my opinion was great. Obviously there was some nerves there, and you could tell. But George, what do you expect to see from Skubal with the Dodgers? And do you guys think that he's going to be a game one starter in the postseason?
What I expect, what I would like is some run support, first of all. And no, yeah, I can see him being definitely game one or two, that's for sure. I think it'll just depend on where Yamamoto's at. But yeah, I can see him being a game one starter for sure, Skubal. He had a very good start the other day. He was very unlucky to give up that second run. But like I said, run support would be nice. But yeah, I can see him definitely being a game one starter.
Yeah. Final thoughts? Anyone else?
I would like to see him do pretty much exactly what he did in his first outing. I mean, minus the 2 runs that scored, and I would put that on the defense rather than Skubal. I think Tucker should have had that ball to keep that run from scoring. So it should have been 6 innings, 0 earned runs, but unfortunately it was 2. He went out there, he painted the corners, he got the strikeouts. That's exactly what I expect from him for the rest of the season. I don't need him to do any more or any less. That's perfect. Also, I would like to see Yamamoto still be the game one starter, but Skubal, I would put him at second personally. But
yeah,
Yamamoto's my guy.
Yeah, I think I would like to see that. Yamamoto has been on this team. He's been reliable. You can't go wrong with Baby Lion. But with that being said, Skubal gives the Dodgers a huge boost. That's not debatable. But one player can't fix everything for this team, and right now, this team is stuck in its worst stretch of the entire season in 2026. We're currently in a 6-game losing streak. They've lost 6 games in a row, including being swept by the Red Sox and the Cubs. Is it panic time? Priscilla?
No, it's not panic time. I'm really annoyed that I'm a Dodgers fan and we've lost, consecutively 6 games and 2 back-to-back sweeps. But I called it last week. This is when people start slowing down a little bit for whatever reason. There's always that August, September slump. I don't think we need to panic just yet, but they definitely need to pick up when they are here in Arizona this weekend, starting tomorrow for their series against the D-backs, because the D-backs too swept them, and that was their first sweep of the season. So they definitely need to get the ball rolling, but I wouldn't say panic yet.
Yeah, and you do bring up something that I had completely forgotten about, and yet you're right. The Diamondbacks did sweep the Dodgers for their first sweep of the season. What is at stake here, Sam? Because look, let's be honest, the Dodgers had the best record in baseball up until now, right? And they've coasted the entire season up until now. What is at stake right now if the Dodgers can't turn it around?
The only thing that I think is at stake is the first week bye for the playoffs. Other than that, the Dodgers are going to be coming back. Like Priscilla said, we have nothing to worry about. They've had similar slumps like this throughout the years. It's better to have it done, in the beginning of the second half rather than towards the end of the playoffs to get their yips out now. But yeah, I don't think the Dodgers are too worried about anything else besides ensuring that they get that first seed in the playoff round and make sure that they do not have to play a wild card series. They want to immediately hop into the playoffs. As you know, last year we had to play the Reds for the wild card series, even though we did end up still winning the World Series. I think the Dodgers, only a year later, our team is pretty up there in age as baseball goes, right? So having that extra week of rest would help a lot going into, the first round of playoffs. So not too worried about the Dodgers at all. But the only thing they do need to be worried about, which I'm sure they are aware of, is getting that first seed in the first bye of the wild card series.
Yeah. And, there's other teams in past years who've won World Series and, have tried to do what the Dodgers have done and go back to back. And a lot of the, it gets thrown around a lot that teams have what they call a World Series slump, or not a hangover, right? World Series hangover. So I wouldn't doubt, how taxing it must be for this team, and considering the age that a lot of these players have right now, that it's attributed to some of the struggles that we're seeing, right? I mean, Kike has struggled since he's been back. Teoscar has been, everybody on this team, except for one guy who we'll get into here in a bit. But George, I don't know, man. I really don't know. What do you think that Dave Roberts has to do to make sure that this team is in tip-top shape for October?
Yeah, I think I like the idea of those occasional games where like Ohtani is rested, Mookie's rested. I think that's okay because we're going to need those guys. Like if we're going to repeat, we need those players like them. In terms of what to do, like for example, for this coming weekend, I'm not sure. You're right. Kike Hernandez has looked a little bit not himself since coming back. He'll warm into it. He's probably just hanging for October anyway, as he always does. But I'm not sure. It's a good question. I think what's worried me recently has been the bullpen's form. It's not been that good. So maybe a little bit of a shake up there. Maybe when we're bringing in certain guys a little bit. And Diaz, I hate to say this, he's not looked that promising since coming back either. I know he's got a save here and there, but even them, they were a little bit shaky at times. So I think the bullpen, a little bit of a restructure there. But I think most importantly, you kind of have to play through this time as well and just show up again because it will turn around. We know it will turn around. They've done it before. They'll do it again. But yeah, please don't go back to a wild card series. That's my only wish.
Yeah. I mean, although I do like our chances in a wild card in a short series,
Yeah.
You would potentially have a Yamamoto, Tarik Skubal, so I like our chances. But I agree with you. I do not want a wild card series this year. I can't lose any more hair. My blood pressure can't take it. So let's try to avoid that at all costs. But Dodger starters have had an 8.42 ERA in this losing streak with 29 runs allowed, 31 innings and 13 home runs. I do agree with you that a shakeup, not just in the bullpen, but in the lineup is probably going to be something that we see soon if things don't change. We do have some news. I don't know if everybody saw, but Will Klein has bone spurs in his elbow, right? So he'll
loose bodies again. Another loose body strikes again.
Yep, loose bodies. So he'll likely be out. I think they're trying to weigh their options. The team's trying to see what they're going to do with him. But that leads us to our next topic. injury updates. Let's talk about a little bit about Will Klein and these, loose bodies in his elbow. I think this is something that Will has been dealing with for a little while now, and maybe didn't say much. Priscilla, your thoughts on Will Klein? Do you think that he'll be in the postseason roster? And do you think that maybe that now's the time to get this taken care of?
I definitely think that now is the time to get it taken care of. I don't see why not. If he's not in the postseason, roster, I don't see it being a really big deal. No offense to him, but because of this injury that I do believe may have been kept quiet for a little bit, that's probably where we were seeing that slack compared to when we were like, oh my God, Will Klein's coming out on the mound. We're going to be okay. I definitely think it's time to get it taken care of though. So with everything else going on, it's like, what's another injury?
Yeah. Well, and then another guy that's on the IL now is Dalton Rushing, which is, in my opinion, a huge blow for us. Because now we're out Will Smith and Dalton. But focusing on Dalton Rushing, he's another one that some are debating whether he should get the surgery now for the UCL tear or wait, right? If he waits, the advantage is that we can potentially have him as a bat, right? At the same time, we're just prolonging the inevitable. He's going to have surgery on that. And with a potential lockout looming, how does that look like for him as a person and him as a player? Because you got to think about, there are certain benefits that players get during the season, medical staff and so on, right? And if there's a lockout, Dalton Rushing isn't going to have that. So what do we do here, right? What there are advantages, but is it going to be best to just get it taken care of now and just have the team deal with not having Dalton Rushing as a bat? Sam?
I agree. I think get it taken care of now. Even if he comes back as a DH, there's probably 3 other guys in line that's going to DH before Dalton Rushing does. God forbid that they need him in a playoff spot. I think we obviously have Miguel Rojas, Kike Hernandez, but even the catchers that we received in the trade, and the interesting thing is that the Dodgers have been doing this new thing all season where they're like downplaying the injuries or hiding them. The Dodgers knew about Dalton Rushing before the trade deadline even happened, right? And didn't really break that news. We knew that Dalton Rushing was dealing with something, but to have a UCL tear is significant, and they knew that. So they did really well with the trade deadline, getting Rover. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry, Ben Rovert and Hunter Fiducia. Both of them have been within the Dodgers organization for a long time. They have been coached by these guys. I don't think there is any other 2 best catchers to get out there than guys who are already familiar with our organization and, who have the ability to do what Dalton Rushing did this season. Remember, Dalton Rushing obviously got thrown into the limelight as Will Smith went down with an injury. So with Will Smith coming back, also we have to remember that he is likely, God, please, to come back soon. Hopefully the Dodgers aren't lying about that too. But things look good. I think Dalton Rushing needs to get it done now, especially because you talked about the lockout. Get it done, come back strong next year, because he is next in line to take over for Will Smith, hopefully, if he keeps up a season like he has this season.
Yep, absolutely. Another guy who's on the verge of coming back here in the next 5-6 days, I would say, is Blake Snell. He's been gone way too long. I am excited to see Snellzilla back on the mound with this team. He's expected to return next week sometime. He's finished his rehab assignment. So I'm excited to see him back. I am not I wasn't too at the same time it doesn't matter, but I wasn't too impressed with his latest outing. I think he gave up 2 homers. Um, it's just one of those things where you kind of want to see a little bit better, a little bit of a better performance out of him, at least me personally, before coming back. But I think this team needs him, right? George, thoughts on Blake Snell coming back, and where does he fit into this lineup as far as, do we see maybe someone get sent over to the bullpen like an Eric Lauer, maybe?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I just think watching Snell in second halves of the season is always fun. We saw what he did last year. He's an absolute dog when it comes to big moments. So, in terms of how we use him, obviously he goes straight back into the rotation. Robleski has not looked himself lately. He looks tired. He's battling through. Wouldn't hurt to put him back in a pen role just to give him a little bit of extra rest as well. So I reckon that could be an option. Lauer, look, that's the first start where it hasn't gone so well for him. But I don't know. It's hard to know which one you would send there. Right now, I'd probably give Robleski the rest, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think, if pitchers are healthy, I don't think he'll be in playoff rotation as of right now. So put him in there, give him the rest. We know that he can pitch well out of there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that Lauer will be continued to be used as an innings eater for the rest of the season. And then who knows? We'll see what happens in the postseason. It'd be interesting to see Eric Lauer and Justin Robleski come out of the bullpen, followed by Tanner Scott and Edwin Diaz shutting that door. So I think that would be fun. There's another guy who's made some surprising leaps and bounds as of late, and that's Tyler Glasnow. Sam was actually out at his latest rehab outing. Sam, tell us a little bit about what you saw. I know you had a chance to speak to Tyler Glasnow while you were there. What did you see, and what did he tell you as far as what he was working on?
Yeah, so Tyler Glasnow, he looked really strong. He looked really confident as well, which is obviously key to most of these guys' rehab, is for their confidence to be up. He pitched 2 innings. He struck out 1 batter, allowed 1. He struck out 1 batter, allowed 1 hit. He pitched 16 pitches. So in 2 innings, he pitched 16 pitches. 12 of those were strikes. His fastball velo was 95 to 97. So I know it's a single A team that they were playing, which is obviously the lowest level of minor leagues, but he was looking good. And on the other side, they were playing the Lake Elsinore Storm. I got to see Joe Musgrove also putting a rehab start in against Tyler Glasnow, which was super awesome. And I was happy to say that Tyler Glasnow did way better than Joe Musgrove did. And yeah, he ended up pitching a simulation inning in the bullpen just because he didn't pitch to where as many balls as he needed to, which was totally great. He got out of the innings and got a little extra work. So yeah, he was looking really, really good, and he wasn't working on anything specific. I asked him if he was, trying to work on a specific throw or anything. He said no. He was just trying to get comfortable again. It's been a while since he's been back on the mound. So he was really just heavily relying on that 4-seam fastball, which looked amazing. And yeah, so he's slowly coming back, and I'm excited to see he's actually going to be starting Sunday again. I'm not sure if it's going to be with the Tower Buzzers or the Comets, but he's going to be having another rehab appearance this Sunday. Don't know which team yet, though.
Yeah. There's another, I guess, last minute injury update that just came through today. Gavin Stone is making a rehab appearance today against OKC, which is today's Thursday, August 6th. He's scheduled to be on the mound. I am super interested in seeing what he has, how he's, I guess, progressed in his rehab. I'm just excited to see the kid back on the mound. He had such great momentum when he was pitching with the Dodgers. Unfortunately, he went down with that injury. Is everybody else pretty high on Gavin Stone? Priscilla, what thoughts on Gavin Stone?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. As soon as I heard the update and the possibility of him getting back out there, I was like, yes, run it. I think that one of our topics lately and repeatedly has been the bullpen and what they need to do and how they need to get better. But when you hear a name like Gavin Stone, it gives you that excitement that, okay, everything might just be okay. And it's what we've been hoping for. So I'm excited to hear his update and his rehab and how it's going, but absolutely.
Yeah. Will Smith also making some progress. Sounds like really not much to talk about on Will right now. I think that seems like the Dodgers are really slow playing him. They really want him to be 100% before he goes on that rehab assignment. But I know he's been pain free. I know that he's resumed baseball activity. Still hitting, still working through a hitting progression, but not really much there to talk about with Will. I think that the sooner that we can have him back, the better. But I do think that he should be 100% healthy and ready to go for the postseason. And look, I love me some Benny Biceps. I think that he's really showed that he can call a good baseball game behind the plate. I wish that he can get a few hits here and there more than he's had. But overall, I think that this is something that we can deal with in the short term, right? George, thoughts on Will Smith injury? Anything that you'd like to add?
I think we desperately want him back. That's all I'm going to add. Look, our Benny and Hunter, I think, look, they can fill the role, but when push comes to shove, I think we're going to need Will back there just to help the pitching out as well. And obviously he brings his bat as well, which has been very good in big games in the previous few years. Yeah, I really want him back. I appreciate the work that the other catchers are putting in. I know it's not easy, but we need him back. Like, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to win it if he doesn't come back.
Yeah. Another one that I really want to see back is Shohei Ohtani on the mound. He actually gave the media post game yesterday a little bit of insight as to what's going on with his knee and his bicep discomfort. He did say that the knee is doing a lot better. I know that he said that he should be resuming. He should be playing catch here soon. I think during the Arizona series, if I remember right. But Shohei Ohtani is one that I think that we all want back on the mound. There is one thing about Shohei that I really want to get into, and it's the MVP race. Specifically, we've been seeing a lot of things out on social media about Pete Crow-Armstrong having a higher WAR than Shohei Ohtani right now. I know SportsCenter came out yesterday post-game, and they were saying that as of now, Shohei's still the leader in the MVP race. But if something doesn't change, then they expect PCA to really give Shohei a run for his money, right? I know that, George, you have some strong thoughts on what is happening with PCA and Ohtani. And I'm going to be the first one to say, I don't really like Pete Crow-Armstrong. Ever since those comments that he made about Dodger fans, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Listen, if he just didn't have to do that. I don't, and then you turn around and then you do this thing with a fan, right? That what was it? He called his female fan, really bad names. I guess I don't want to repeat it, but it's just, I'm not a big fan of PCA. George, your thoughts?
I feel the exact same. Since those comments, it just has not sat well with me. Apparently, all we do is take pictures, which is fine. We'll take pictures of our rings. But that's probably the only. I reckon if it wasn't for those comments, if he did win MVP, you know what? Fair play. Ohtani's got his eyes on the bigger prize in a third ring. So, but yeah, those comments are probably the reason why I don't want him to win MVP, even though he's playing very well right now. And stats-wise, I think, hitting-wise, it's very similar. If anything, PCA might have a bit of an edge. But, yeah, I think Ohtani, look, if he's pitching the whole season, it's pretty much it's over. It'll be Ohtani's MVP. However, we do know that, and you see it happen with Aaron Judge in the American League, if your name is Judge and Ohtani, that increases your chances of winning MVP by 50%. So, look, I hope Shohei wins it, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be too bothered if he misses out. Like I said, he's got his eyes on a bigger prize.
Yeah. And, their numbers are very close as far as offense goes, right? I think it's 297 average for Shohei. PCA is 288. On base percentage for Shohei 399, 386 for PCA. So I mean, look, home runs, 26 home runs for Shohei, 26 for PCA. So numbers are really close, but it's the WAR that everyone's looking at. Sam, thoughts on the MVP race, and is Ohtani on the verge of being dethroned as the reigning MVP of the National League?
All right, guys, I know you're going to hate what I have to say right now, but I think that PCA is going to dethrone Shohei Ohtani for the National League MVP. Only because, and listen to me, I know you're going to hate me for saying this too, I don't want to see Shohei Ohtani pitching anymore. He needs to focus where his time best spent right now with his bicep injury and his knee injury is focusing on offense. Because what do the Dodgers need right now? Offense. I'm fine even saying that more because now we have Tarik Skubal. We have Bobby Miller coming up. We just talked about Snell. We just talked about Glass now. We have Gavin Stone coming up. So I think we're forgetting about all of the leverage we have in the bullpen only because they've been sucking for about a week. I need Shohei. And like George said, honestly, I don't think that even Shohei Ohtani right now cares too much about the MVP because he cares most about that third ring. He's not looking for the MVP right now. He's not going to get back to pitching if he's not ready. And like he said, him using some rest at this time in the season might be good too. Because he's been working on overdrive. Ohtani's been carrying the Dodgers for the last 5 years. Okay. I see that Ohtani, I see him being better used in the lineup, and I would love to see him hitting third or fourth because of the amount of leadoff home runs he's been hitting this year. Imagine if there were runners on base for those. I think Ohtani has too strong of a bat to be leading off. I think that Dave Roberts needs to be changing that. But yeah, I think his batting average would have been better if he also wasn't pitching for a little bit. So that's just me, hot take. I know you guys are not gonna like that, but I have to be the controversial one in this group. I think I've cemented myself as that officially.
I like it, and you make a good point because the Dodgers do need Shohei's bat over Shohei on the mound. Because look, if tomorrow was the beginning of October, we would have Skubal, Yamamoto, Snell, and potentially Tyler Glasnow or whoever it may be, right? We can do a bullpen game. We can do Robleski, Sasaki, piggyback like we had mentioned in the past. So, yes, this team doesn't need Shohei on the mound. At the end of the day, would we love to see him back on the mound? Yes. Does Shohei have enough to win the MVP even if he doesn't pitch again this season? I think he does. I think that he might. I don't know. Look, it's Shohei Ohtani. Anything's possible, right? We've seen him do incredible things that no one's ever done before in this game. So I would not count Shohei out of the race. I still think that it's his to take. I just don't see PCA taking that from Ohtani. Priscilla.
Oh, I know you saw me dying over here to give my take. Sam, no, I'm just kidding. No, I agree with some things that you say, but I disagree with the fact that, okay, what more do you want him to do? He's still hitting leadoff home runs. He's still bringing people in. He's still getting on base. It's not a single. It's a double. It's a good play, whatever it is. So in that sense only, okay? In that sense only, what more do you want him to do? Crow-Armstrong's got, I'm sorry, something, but nothing on him because the numbers speak for themselves, yes. But at the end of the day, when it comes to pitching, he's the only one that was doing the pitching and the hitting. MLB sees that. The fans see that. What does that do for the MLB? What does it do for the Dodgers? Do you really think that they're going to say, okay, Ohtani, despite everything that you've done, your name, whatever, sit this one out?
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. That's the only thing I don't see it happening. I don't disagree with him batting second or third. I don't disagree with what Sam was saying. Give him some rest. Do we absolutely need him on the mound? But do I see it happening? No, I don't see Pete Crow taking his MVP. Imagine, not only is he going for a third ring, but another MVP. He's not going to say, oh, no, I don't want that just because he's going to say, I'm Shohei Ohtani. I want both. Give me both. And that is who Shohei is. That is who Shohei is. So I see him going for it, whether he wants to make it seem casual, like, oh, okay, yeah. No, he's going for it. Shohei's got that mentality. He's not going to sit this one out. He wants his name to be the biggest and the greatest in baseball, and that's what it's going to be. So that's my take.
Yeah. I've spoken to a few insiders and about Shohei in the past, and you know the sentiment around Shohei is that he tends to downplay a lot of things, but at the end of the day, he is a very big competitor. He competes, and so yesterday he was asked the question, hey, what do you think about this? The MVP race, and are you aware that Pete Crow-Armstrong is having a heck of a year? And his response is exactly what you would expect from Shohei. And it was, I don't really pay attention to those things. I really just want to contribute to this team, and I want to help my team win. Which, okay, we get that, right? But we also heard from Dave, and separately, Dave Roberts said that Shohei is 100% aware of what's going on with Pete Crow-Armstrong. And yes, that he doesn't doubt that it's a motivating factor for Shohei. So we know that Shohei is aware. Now, whether do I want Shohei to go the extra mile and re-injure or aggravate that knee or the bicep in efforts to win the MVP? Absolutely not. I don't. And if we had to pick, I would rather put Shohei on the IL and sacrifice that as long as we have our ticket to October punched and have him be 100% come October. That would be what I would prefer. If Shohei finishes the season, I think he'll win the MVP. I really do. We're going to have to come back to this come when MVP is announced for the NL. But I really do think that he's going to take it as long as he doesn't hit the injured list. And final thoughts on Shohei?
Stay healthy.
I'm rooting for Shohei. Calling it now.
Now, Shohei Ohtani obviously is, he had a great game on Wednesday, but there's another superstar that's on the Dodgers who finally is showing signs of life, and that's Mookie Betts. Now, Mookie went, I want to say 4 for 5 on Wednesday versus the Cubs, which is ironically enough, right around the same time last year when he got going. Now, I don't want to be the one to jinx this, but I have to ask, is Mookie Betts back? Priscilla.
I think he's back. I said it from the Red Sox series that Mookie Betts was going to come back and get his name out there and get on those bases and whatnot. Despite the fact that we did lose these games, those individual players, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, they're doing what we want of them. It's that consistency throughout the lineup that we need to see and want to see so that they're not staying on base, because these are the guys that we're leaving on base. So it's like, what more can you do? They've got their arms crossed. They're ready to run. They're ready to get it in. And it's not happening because the people following are not coming through. So I think he's back. I think he's going to continue to do great. And I think it's just that heating up mentality coming August, September, and then obviously October, which is the most important. So Mookie Betts is back. And in favor of that, I did wear his number today.
There you go. George, your thoughts on Mookie?
Yeah, it's really good signs. Like, it's promising signs, getting on base. He's looking a bit stronger now, which is great. Had a really good game yesterday. So, look, I'm hoping he is. I still want him to pull his socks back up. That's just what I miss about him. But, yeah, I think Zesty Mookie might be back. Let's just hope he can continue. That's all. He likes this.
Yeah.
Zesty Mookie.
I think a little bit more. Maybe Arizona series will tell us, a little bit more on whether he's back or not. Right. I really do hope that Mookie has finally turned that corner, because this team needs him right now more than ever. Right. We need to break out of this losing streak. We need to break out of this slump. And what better player to help us do that than the Gold Glove award-winning MVP All-Star Mookie Betts, who brought 2-3 rings to this organization since he's been here. I really think that he is the guy to get this done. But with that said, we do have something special to share with everybody. Before we look ahead at the series versus the Diamondbacks that starts tomorrow, Priscilla is actually going to be at Chase Field tomorrow. August 7th? And she will be interacting with fans, doing some fun Q&As. Priscilla, tell us a little bit more about what you'll be doing there and where people can find you.
I'm so excited for the game tomorrow. Not only did we lose our last series against the D-backs, they swept us, and I have not been able to live it down. Down to the youngest student that I have, who reminded me today, they're going to lose because we won them last time. And I was like, hold yourself together, girl, because he's about 10 years old. Relax. So I'm really excited to be there tomorrow. I have a lot of people reaching out. I know they're hitting the socials, wondering where we're going to be. I will be doing Q&A. I will be doing some content creating, and I want people just to participate and get themselves and their social medias and their face out there, but also their passion. Like, why do we take over Arizona every time? Why does Arizona only sell out when the Dodgers come? What is it about Arizona that goes blue? You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that. And in addition to that, we are going to have some giveaways, but the giveaways will be for the people who are going to be present. So I hope that you guys watching are going to be just that. Look for me, find me, come say hi, win some prizes, get yourselves on our channel. And I will be specifically behind the bleacher/Dodger section. There's going to be a couple tables there in the back, and they're just kind of like hangout patio tables. A lot of people are not familiar with them, but that's where we're going to be, just kind of walking around the Dodger section back and forth. And I say we are because I have somebody helping me with camera and content, but yes, that is where we'll be. And I'm so excited.
I think it's going to be hella fun. Yeah, guys, make sure if you're going to the game, make sure you guys go find Priscilla and say hello. It should be a good time. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. But let's get into this Diamondback series starting tomorrow, Friday. Um, Who's expected to pitch? I want to say I didn't even look, to be honest with
I think
you.
it's Roki.
Saki, Yamamoto, and I don't know the last one. I was surprised that they had the pitchers already released for this series. Usually they wait until like the day of to release who's pitching.
Yeah.
Robleski Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So Roki, Yamamoto, Robleski, 1, 2, and 3. Looks like they, normal start, 6:40, 5:10, 1:10 Pacific times. Keys to the game. What are you guys looking for in this next series? Other than the obvious, and we don't want to get swept again. That would be absolutely terrible. But we'll go down the line. George, what are you looking for in this series against the Diamondbacks? Keys to the game for the series.
Yeah. I think after this recent Cubs series and Red Sox one, good pitching. Starters can get through 5 or 6, no more than 1 or 2 runs, ideally. Obviously, run support will help, and bullpen hopefully bounces back as well. So it's a little bit of everything, but I think we need some good pitching this series, and we can turn it around. We've seen what happens when we've lost a few games in a row before. As soon as it feels like it's coming down, this group knows how to respond. They mentally know how to respond and get back on track.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to see if it looks like Diamondbacks don't have their pitchers announced yet. So I'd be curious to see who they're going to put on the mound there. Yeah, I don't even see the probables right now. Yeah, it would be good to know. But, okay, Priscilla.
I'm excited for this series. There's something about the Dodgers coming to Arizona that just brings this rivalry. And I know that the NL West is like, these are our rivals, these are not our rivals. But living in Arizona and being a Dodgers fan and seeing the energy that comes with them, you're literally looking at a mini Dodger Stadium, whether the Arizona Diamondbacks like to hear it or not. They know that we take over. And I think that energy when you're away from home for the Dodgers is so electrifying that it does something to them. So I'm excited. I can see Shohei going off. I actually see Roki doing something good. I know he's got some, I don't want to say beef, but some unfinished business with some of the players that didn't treat him too well the last time that he pitched against them. And Shohei came back and won that game for us. But I think it's up to Roki to come back and do something big and prove himself. So I'm really excited for the series.
Yeah, I agree that Roki is going to be hopefully setting the tone for this series. Sam.
I'm looking forward to the series too. The Dodgers have notoriously done very well at Chase Field, or I think it's called Chase Field still. I hope it is, but against the Arizona Diamondbacks away. So I'm excited for that. I think Roki Sasaki coming into the second half, I think he's still gonna be warming up. He's gonna impress us once again. I think the first half Roki Sasaki is gone, and his confidence is going up, his command is going up. So I see really good things for him. Yamamoto, I always expect greatness from him. The only thing I expect is run support, like George says, for my guy who's also notoriously had low run support this whole season, despite being their ace. And Robleski needs to bounce back. I really need to see him kind of hone back in on his command. He allowed, 4 homers in each of his last 2 starts. So don't need to see him be Superman, but I would like him to really kind of dial it back in, get that confidence back up. And then, just the bats need to come alive. I hope that Dave Roberts moves the lineup around a little bit, like I mentioned earlier. But I think that Dodgers are going to come back for blood from the last week before the first half. And hopefully will bring the sweep to Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe putting someone else. Well, I don't know. I was going to say putting someone else after Mookie in the lineup would be good, but I don't know. Muncie's been good. He's been decent, so it's hard. I really think that a shakeup in the lineup would be good. Um, but I'm not sure where to put everybody, because you can make the argument, hey, what if we put Mookie back in the leadoff? But he's just now starting to show some signs of life. Why are you going to move him? Shohei's been fine.
I think that. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Who do we move? Kyle Tucker? Where do we put him? Put him in.
Yeah, I think that Mookie Betts and Kyle Tucker both need to be lower in the lineup. I think that they have way too much pressure on both of them right now. Specifically Kyle Tucker, with how much not only hate he's been getting from the Cubs lately, but how bad he's been kind of performing this year. I think both of them need to be towards the end of the lineup for sure. I think even dropping Shohei down to second or third would be great. I'd put Edman somewhere closer to the top because he's been single and double city this year. So I have a few moves in my head that I would like, but I understand there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm sure that Dave Roberts obviously knows way more than I do. But those are just my 2 cents.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if the lineup does change, what those changes are, because that would be very interesting for me. But with that being said, it's time for my favorite segment of the show. Everybody knows, right? Sam knows now. It's time to call your shot.
It's time to call your shot.
All right, let's go around the room. Let's start with, you know what? Since we didn't start with Sam last week, we're going to start with Sam. Sam, prediction for Game 1 in Arizona. Who's going to have the biggest impact on Game 1?
All right. I think because he had a good game last time, he's heating back up again. I'm going to go with my guy, Max Muncy, hoping that his bat's starting to heat up again. He's had one of his best seasons of his career, and this is pretty late in his career. So I think Max Muncy is going to come out back with his bat hot tomorrow and hopefully throughout the rest of the series.
Nice. I like it. George.
I think I'm just going to play it safe and go Ohtani here. I just want him now. After that talk has got me fired up. I don't want PCA to win MVP. So Shohei, please do your thing. He's gone deep many times in Arizona before. I can see him going deep to center over that weird yellow line they have there and that camera. It's a boring stadium, but we're going to fill it out. So Show's my call.
I like it. Priscilla.
I think it's going to be another pool party. I do say Shohei Ohtani, but to give you a different answer, I want to see Andy Pages go yards. I think that he's due, and I think he's going to come back hot with the series against the D-backs. So I'm thinking Andy Pages is going to be my shot.
I like it. I'm going to go with the safe bet. Well, I don't know if it's safe, but no pun intended. I'm going to go with Mookie Betts. I think that he's going to keep it going. He's going to keep that momentum. And you know what? I think that August is going to be a big month for Mookie. I think that he's gonna turn it around. So Mookie Betts is my called shot for Game 1 of the Arizona series. But with that being said, for all of those of you at home, don't forget you can call your shot before every Dodgers game by visiting Blue Dynasty on social media. Drop your prediction before the first pitch, and if you call it right, you could be highlighted on the next day on Blue Dynasty. But I think that's all the time we have, guys. Let's go around the room. Final thoughts. Anything anybody wants to add that maybe we missed?
Let's win. That's my final thought. Yeah. Let's win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll be able to
agree. Let's win.
Yep.
Yeah, let's win. Let's get some injured people back. I think I highlighted a little bit, but Bobby Miller made a rehab appearance yesterday too.
Yeah.
So he's going to be coming back as well. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I'm ready to see them win as well, especially against the D-backs. They're the second in our division, so we definitely don't want to take any losses, especially after 6 straight. But it also comes to highlight the fact that we're the only team in the MLB that was able to lose 6 straight and still keep first place in our division. And I think that that's what gives the Dodgers the advantage. And I think that's why they're the best team in baseball. So I'm ready to see a really good series, and I'm ready to meet some of our followers.
Nice. I'm going to give a little teaser for our next show. We're going to have a very, very special guest come back and join us here on Blue Dynasty. Alana Rizzo is expected to join us next week. So make sure, if you guys don't follow us, make sure you do, and turn on those notification bells, because it's going to be a fun one, I think. So with that said, that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for joining, and your support means everything to us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bells so you don't miss the next episode. You can follow Blue Dynasty on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media places, and listen to Blue Dynasty wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We bring you an episode every week, so make sure you follow, subscribe, so that you don't miss the next one. Don't forget to follow Blue Dynasty contributors Priscilla at Bleed Blue Bay, George at the Aussie Dodger. Sam, what? I'm trying to remember your handle right now, but I can't. Help me out here.
My Instagram is SammyB23.
SammyB23 and the Dodger Buzz, right? On TikTok.
Yeah, and on TikTok it's the Dodger Buzz. I need to pick one or the other at this point. So we'll figure out which one next week.
We'll get it figured out. And Bobby at Dodger Games. Bobby, we miss you, buddy. I'm sure he'll be on the next one. But with that said, I'm Robert Medina. Thanks again for joining us. And remember, guys, we're more than a nation. We're a mother effing dynasty. We'll see you next week.